aircraft, the Havilland Chipmunks, flown today by John Higgins and David Pettis. They've really only recently formed this vintage air team, which I'm very grateful for that support, bringing them here today. Two former RF chipmunk aerobatics teams, the Skylarks and the Blue Tubes. Just under 1,300 of these aircraft, both in Canada and the UK. In addition to the production in Canada and the UK, they were also manufactured at East Kirby on the 6th of May, so very fortunate to have them here very early in their displays. Chipmunk is basically a tandem two-seat primary trainer or ab initio and a sport aircraft as well. Chipmunk saw considerable use of the RAF, receiving only about 735 of them. Paraded with the RAF Reserve Flying Squadrons, the Volunteer Reserve and also the University Air Squadrons. So these aircraft were actually used for the training of His Royal Highness the Fleet Air Arm and the Army Air Corps for training. And now the Skylarks will contribute to one of those four missions. That's Skylarks. Can you imagine flying across the North Atlantic in one of these aircraft? Lots of earlier on, a larger aircraft can settle a little easier. Some of these lighter machines, like you'll see the Fournier and the Stomp, and perhaps even the Auster, might bounce a little bit. Look at that beautiful approach, doing what it's designed to do, land in a very, very short field. So we'll be seeing the Auster flying a little bit later in the program. Well, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the silence twister has commenced. Type flew in September 2000. It's designed as a single-seat aerobatic, amateur-built or kit or plane-built aircraft, so that you can actually put one of these together in your own lounge room if you so desire, or you're allowed to buy one of the most common used is the 85 horsepower Jabiru engine. This aircraft is flown today by Tim Hughes. It's part of a stable of aircraft that wonderful smoke system operating with this machine. This is typical of the aircraft that are flown by Tim. structure incorporates a honeycomb core rather than foam to increase the structural strength, particularly around the cockpit. It's designed as a safety shell, and very much like the Formula One cars, a very strong structure around the pilot. It's a fixed or retractable undercarriage. Fixed undercarriage, a lot simpler to build and operate. Three different variants. And you can see the aircraft is extremely very precise handling. Has a maximum speed and static. Owned and flown today by Paul Freeland. This aircraft was designed as a two-seat aerobatic touring and military trainer plus light attack aircraft. You would think so with these beautiful lines. It was designed by Celia Franti of Milan originally. They only produced two before the company was taken over by Simon Getty, and later that company picked up by Air Mackie in 1997. Powered by a 260 horsepower Lycoming flat six-cylinder engine, giving it a maximum speed of about 238 knots or 440 kilometres an hour. The aircraft is still actually in production. They've built about 870 of these, but only about 180 have actually gone to civilian operators. The remainder have been spread out through 20. The military versions can carry up to 2 or 4 underwing hardpoints, and those hardpoints and racks allowing the aircraft to carry up to about 660 pounds of various weapons and bombs. Hard to imagine this aircraft in a military role, but some of the very smaller air forces in Africa, Burkina Faso being one, they operate the aircraft. Military version is generally known as the Warrior. Still in production through Leonardo Spa. Beautiful visibility there that Paul has. Like Allison turboprop, rated at about 300 shaft horsepower. As you can see, extremely manoeuvrable. You see them on the ground, they sit quite low. This particular aircraft is actually the oldest SF-260 still flying, with serial number 102. That being the second aircraft off the production line. Very hard to imagine with these thoroughbred lines that the aircraft is actually a military aircraft. But there's Paul giving us a wave on his last pass for today. If you have a look at it, it certainly does have the look of a Wasp about it. That four-wheel undercarriage dangling down, very spindly looking. That's certainly very excellent. the Wasp variant was designed to operate from Royal Navy frigates, and they were supposed to be able to carry torpedoes. This is part of what they call the match concept, manned torpedo carrying helicopter. It's a crew of one pilot and one crewman, can carry up to 4 passengers or a single stretcher as well, so very versatile. You're looking at the scout of the Wasp. The principal area of difference is that the Army version of the scout is built with skids and the Navy Wasp with wheels. Why the difference? Because when they land on the heaving pitching deck, it is far easier to move the wheeled undercarriage to put it in the hangar deck than it is with the skids. Obviously operating from Royal Navy carriers, won't be operating in very smooth calm conditions all the time. So to assist in that operation, it is with what's called superfine pitch or so-called negative pitch. The whole idea of that is with that pitch, you can enable the Wasp to virtually a gyrocopter. Well, interesting thing is even though it looks the same, the helicopter, the air comes down from the top and is pushed downwards towards the ground. The joke is that helicopters bring the air into submission, which is pretty much correct. But in a gyrocopter, the air actually goes up the blades at angles so they produce lift. But also the angle of the blade is such that it speeds up to a point where it turns at a stable speed, and both drag and thrust produced by the blade are in perfect balance. Now these were the guys in gyrocopters who've been around for a long time, and Juan de la Sierra first flew an autogyro, which he basically patented only 20 years after the blade runners first flew. The AOP Mark 6 featured a strengthened fuselage, a 145 horsepower Gypsy Major engine, a lengthened undercarriage structure. The reason for that was, with the extra power available from the engine, increased diameter propeller required better clearance from the ground, so therefore the longer undercarriage. And it also featured external flaps, which were non-retracting in the wing, and you can quite plainly see those here. Actually completed the first production run of these aircraft in 1949. They're designed to be very quick. You can see the flaps extended there on the aircraft. Only 108 knots or 200 kilometres an hour. So not very quick. The aircraft is actually fabric covered. Later machines produced in overseas countries actually were all metal machines, such as the Cessna Bird Dog, which fulfilled exactly the same role. Although the Bird Dog was a later aircraft, not being flying until about 1949 and then entered the Korean War. See those external flaps, very prominent on the wing. They're allowing the aircraft to fly very, very slowly, and this is one of them. This particular machine was delivered mid-1946 to the Army at RAF Middle Wallop in Hampshire. It was the 17th of the first production run delivered to the British Army. You are interested in such statistics. It remained on strength at Middle Wallop until 1952 and then was assigned to 657 Air Observation Post Squadron that were also based at Middle Wallop. That base having a great history with the type. 1952 assigned to 1912 flight based at RAF Buchberg in Germany, where it took part in the annual manoeuvres with the British Army of the Rhine. Remained with the flight for 7 years until being transferred to the Army Cooperation Aircraft that operated throughout the Second World War. And this is the basis of aviation. This is how military aviation started. Aircraft came out of the military service and went through a number of owners until it was purchased by Kevin Hale from Swindon in 2012. I was actually there in 2015 when he undertook his first airshow display at Old Sarah in Wiltshire. Kevin now demonstrating a very slow speed pass. Again, this used for flying over targets or for slow approaches into very, very short fields. You can see the flaps out there, the power's gone up. Not quite a helicopter hovering, but close to it. Because these, as I said, worked through World War II, different sides, different aircraft. The Catalina, considered by many to be obsolete at the outbreak of war in the Pacific. Catalina first flew as the Model 28, covered with fabric. Of course, a lot of them these days have been modernised to be covered with aluminium, but originally it was all fabric. This particular one is an amphibian version. They were produced both as amphibian and full flying boats. You can see the wings supported there by the two struts on either side. Powered by two Pratt Whitney R1830 radial engines. The same radial engines is fitted. Of course, this aircraft is not fitted with the nose turret, but it does have the bulges and the blisters on the side, characteristic of the Catalina. Now, the majority of flying boats have wingtip floats. Those wingtip floats do produce a lot of drag. Now, on the Catalina, it was unique in some respects in that these floats could actually be retracted up into the wingtips and right on cue. Notable operations, the RAF Coastal Command Catalina found and shadowed the Bismarck. The US Navy Catalina found the Japanese fleet approaching Midway Island, and a Royal Canadian Air Force Kanso discovered the Japanese fleet approaching Ceylon with the intention of destroying the Royal Navy's Indian Ocean fleet at Trincomalee. The very first casualty of the Pacific War actually occurred 19 hours before the attack on Pearl Harbor, when a Catalina of 205 Squadron based in Singapore was shot down by Japanese fighters in the Gulf of Thailand. 19 hours before Pearl Harbor. Unfortunately, all on board were killed, including one Australian. There were two VCs won by Catalinas. The first was John Cruikshank. They actually removed the wheels because those huge wheels in the fuselage took up a lot of room and a lot of weight. So what they did is they actually converted the wheel wells into huge fuel cells with additional range. They're responsible for the destruction of over 40 U-boats, including the last U-boat sunk by an aircraft in the Order of the Double Sunrise. Could carry up to 4,000 pounds of bombs, mines, depth charges or torpedoes. Had one or two 30 caliber machine guns in the bow gun, just ahead of the cockpit, and two 50 calibers in the ballistas. They carried out a lot of what they call Dumbo missions as well in the Pacific, where they'd send these aircraft out following the fighters that were attacking Japanese positions, and any downed aircraft they would go in and pick up the downed airmen and get them safely back home. Major rescues, the US Navy picked up 56. Welcome here to the Midland Air Festival 2019. Give them a big wave, ladies and gentlemen, as they're giving you a wave as well. Very beautiful sight up there. That particular aircraft is a Canadian Vickers-built Canso. Suitably modified Piper Cub. This aircraft is fitted with pyrotechnics, lights. It is not your standard Piper Cub. And we had the machine here the other night for our night flying prior to the night glow with the balloons. Very, very spectacular. Now here he comes now towards the crowd. I think he's just limbering up a little bit. Brendan's certainly a very, very highly Royal Aero Club. He's also flown on every continent in the world, including Antarctica. Look. As we said, fitted with pyrotechnics, firing forward, firing up. So it's either the pyrotechnics or the gamekeeper here at Arbury Hall. Over 20,000 of these aircraft, the Piper Cubs, were manufactured in the United States between 1938 and 1947. This is the aircraft of choice if you want to go and do some beautiful low-level flying on a weekend. The door off, the windows off, low level, flying over the fields, looking at the cows. 65 horsepower engine, maximum speed of 76 knots, or about 121 kilometres an hour. And he makes it look very simple, but this takes quite a lot of skill. He's got it lined up, it's lined up there now. No, missed. You can see on the struts on the wings there, the mounts for the pyrotechnics that he uses. crack shot, I think you have missed your opportunity there. Yeah, he's just peeling off. I think he spotted this new one on its way, and the second one. We'll see how he goes with this. Pulling up. Balloon inside. No. To see. Might have a little bit of a darker spot against the western skyline. Oh, here he comes. Missed. I think he's trying to fire back over his shoulder. Somewhat sideways, but that's all right. A nice side-slicking pass there. Give him a wave, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Brendan O'Brien from O'Brien's Flying Circus. Brendan is also quite professional out of my Airfield. At the moment, you in operations out of my Airfield. When he arrives, the fire Airfield is like Antonov. Used as crop dusters, cargo aircraft, parachutists. The North Vietnamese actually now you can see why the aircraft was so valuable. Unprepared strips, very short field performance, and fantastic load carrying capability. Of course, Antonov produced many aircraft, including the huge We'll get your cameras ready, ladies and gentlemen, as the AN2 departs for its home base, the beautiful Anushka. This particular team. Here, no problems. It's powered by a 180, 200 O means it's a flat engine, or horizontally opposed, 360 cubic inches. It was designed by Richard Van Grossman and is the 8th in and an increased payload. Now look at that 3 ship coming through. And number 4, threading the needle. +6 bill on the RV8 version, so fitted is free castering. And a lovely skirt. The kit actually utilises computer drilled rivet holes. Now that substantially reduces the build time. If you happen to be doing it in your lounge room, now the 3 ship coming in, a lot of choreography involved in this to ensure that there's something in front of the crowd all the time. Take off for a weekend, relax and enjoy yourself. As I said, one of a line of the fans. Beautiful crossover screen there. The 3 or the 5 ship formation is only being flown by the lead aircraft. Splitting there from Vic over to echelon starboard or echelon right, and splitting off like an initial pitch. Now coming in limestone, pitching up. There you can see him waving there, ladies and gentlemen. Hand out of the cockpit. Give him a big wave and a round of applause. Sometimes Bob has to fly around a little. He's got a very soft undercarriage. Now any little bump, see, just pushes it up a little bit. What a great job, ladies and gentlemen. Diesel engine in there, 45 horsepower. And if you have any questions, just head down the crowd line to where he's going to pull up, and he would love to talk to you about that performance. Bob Group's first able to head to Berlin with the bombers and back, and the Sea Fury, the ultimate development of the Typhoon and Tempest series. Both of these aircraft again. Chris has just broken away, he's leading this formation. And when they form up, they are picking a spot on his aircraft, and all they are doing is lining up with that spot. They are leaving everything else to Chris. They just maintain that position. Red and yellow with the red sunburst on it is a very typical design, and it's pretty much universal on these aircraft. Now forming up again in box formation, sometimes referred to as a diamond. Looking for that vision break. Go. 1918. He'd actually got out of his aeroplane to fix a technical problem at one stage and thought that this could be a great idea for an air show. So during the air show, he would climb out of the aeroplane, the pilot would flying from the back, and climb came a bit of a cropper during the movie shoot. Base at Rankin. See them waving there? It wasn't until 1938 that the authorities in America actually dictated that you had to wear a safety harness. Now that's good going up, that bunting manoeuvre. Aerobatic was actually formed by Vic Norman. Ladies and gentlemen.
John Marston. Next one, Corporal Stephen Hanley, ladies and gentlemen. Followed by Corporal Henry Bull. Landing.